it's always kind of funny how these things work, but um, let's see. There we go. All right, just for recording, it'll be me so people can see me. And you guys raise your hand, slow me down, and we'll take questions in a little bit. But this is how to run a profitable extended stay rental. And without any experience, you don't need any experience because this is a whole new change that's happening here. All right, it's a whole new change. It's like the beginning of the Henry Ford cranking out automobiles. And there's people used to a horse and buggy, and these automobiles are coming, and then they got to figure out who has the right of way, the automobile or the horse and buggy. This is that time right now where everything's trying to figure this out. So that's why you don't need prior experience, because this is still new. Okay, and you can get involved with these extended stay rentals without a big investment. You do need to have money. You do need to have access to at least $5,000. And most importantly, you need to know how to manage it. All right. So you need some financial literacy to handle things, because this can generate quite a bit of money for you. But you need to be able to make the right decisions to handle that money and scale the business. But anyway, today we're going to talk about why landlords will give you control happily of their property. We're going to talk to you about that. But when you talk to them about corporate housing and a way you could make 6 figures in 6 months, we're going to share with you that. How you can get involved with not much money out of your pocket. Again, you need to be able to get access to money, which means you need to know what you're doing. And how you can do all this without a bank loan, and you can get started right away. So a lot of you guys seen this. I just want to show you up front about some profits you can be making. This is what it looks like when you get started. This is my 8plex. This is an old slide. I don't know why I haven't updated it, but I had to come up with $100,000 to buy this thing. And that was a struggle coming up with that money. And I started operating it, and I started testing out furnished rentals. And it was enough for me to retire on just this one property. I don't have 100,000 rentals. I have this one property that allowed me to replace my engineering income and stay home. Okay. And right now is the profit per month is about $8,000 going on right now. We just switched another one from long-term rental to furnished rental. I don't displace anybody. I don't kick anyone out but when they move, they typically buy a house or they buy a duplex or something. When they free up a unit, I convert it into a furnished rental, and it starts making a lot more money for me. Okay, I'm going to take questions and chats in just a bit. But so I used that knowledge, and I went and I talked to another landlord, used the same scripts I'm telling Derek to use. And I got him to convinced him to let me use one of his units to operate my furnished rental company out of it. And that one makes, let me move this out of the way so I can see. There you go. That makes it $832 per month. Now, that's what one of them does. We have 3 of them in here because we proved ourselves, and he just starts offering us more units. So we have 3 out of the 16 in this particular unit. And then this one's a small mom and pop landlord, small house. It brings in $878 per month. We talked to the landlord of this apartment complex. So we run them in houses and apartment complexes. It's $728. And this one has a management company. We talk to them, show them our record, show them what we do. And we have an upstairs and a downstairs one. Each one of them brings in $862. So it's consistent income that you can scale without a bank loan, which means you can pick them up quickly. You just need to know how to operate, and you need to know how to market, and you'll be just fine, because there's lots of extended stay hotels around, and people rather stay here than at an extended stay hotel. This is a little cottage. Now, this is always filled by people who have dogs that bark. So it's very simple inside. It's a scratched up wood floor, but the dogs are very comfortable. They don't have to worry about anyone. They're standing alone. They feel like they're part of the neighborhood, and they feel safe. They're upstairs in this one. They love it. I can't keep, it's never empty, right? And this is the best one. It's a duplex and just on the verge of a good and bad neighborhood. So I'm right on the fringe. And this brings out $1,643 per month. No down payment. I didn't have to come up with a down payment. I had to come up with the first month's rent, security deposit, but I didn't have to come up with $100,000 of a down payment. All right. And it gives me the same money. The money it gives me is the money I can use. Money is money unless you guys know something different. Cash flow is cash flow. So I start coaching people. You know, this is Derek. He's a guy. He's from Louisiana, and he moved to California, and he's got a growing family. He wants to be debt free. We got him started. This little place is this first one, puts out $522 a month. And Rochelle, I always do this case study on her. She's cranking out $900 a month, and that's a big help to her on her first one. And I'd like to show Tim. He's got a big one in Appleton, Wisconsin, and it puts out $1,000 within 30 days. He was up and going. So Derek, yes, you can. Absolutely. Just follow what's already in the course. It's already laid out to you. Call me. I'm happy to guide you through pep talks and everything. So what we're talking about is not Airbnb. It is not. If you guys think what I'm sharing with you is all Airbnb, it is not. It looks like this in reality. There's so much more. I have all these things. I don't want to overwhelm you with these things. These things you build, these different lead sources you build up over time. But Airbnb is just one part of my strategy of getting leads. And then I have people track them to talk to me. And then I close them out and I place them in the place that fits both them and me. So keep my vacancies at a minimum. Okay. I didn't want to overwhelm you with that. I just want you to know this is not just Airbnb. Okay. So who was this talk for? What I'm sharing with you is for anyone who wants a follow-up plan, because I've been building up this plan. I've been building flow charts, and just to be super clear about what to do. And then you got to put in the work. And even putting in the work, you got to get over your subconscious hurdles. So that's important. And all the things that we've inherited from our parents about how we handle money, and if we deserve to have cash flow, we got to deal with all those things. Okay. And if you're interested in retiring early, tapping out early, some people aren't. I talked to a fellow today. He says he's happy with his accounting job. He just wants to build up a second income stream. So that's great. And if you want more margin in your life without taking on a bank loan. Now, what is margin? Margin is something that seems like very few of us have. I'm going to stop my share for a second because I want to talk to you guys about this. Because oftentimes margin is we just don't have it. We don't have any money at the end of the month. We don't have any time. We're all busy, you know, and it hurts us. Like we get into car accidents because we're in a rush, because we were late, and we're late because of we didn't give ourselves enough margin. We were up late doing things for work, or we don't have time with our kids because we're spending time at work. We're doing things that we don't want to do. We're always in a rush. We're always giving people the leftovers, right? So one part of my mission is to give you guys more margin so that you're not stop overdrafting. We overdraft and we end up more in debt because we were $5 over. We didn't have even a $5 margin at the end of the month. Raise your hand if you understand what I'm saying. We need to create more margin. And that's what I'm trying to do with this and pointing it out as clearly as I can. We got to get more margin in, got to get more time margin in your life, more cash flow in your life, more money at the end of the month, and improve the financial literacy. Anyway, let me share my screen again. So that's what we're about to talk about. If you stick around with me, this is what I want to share with you about it. And of course, I'm going to share with you my system for doing this. But I got a big gift for you at the end, so stay till the end. So I'm Al Williamson. I'm typically talking to people about landlord science, how to create more cash flow, and reduce your expenses if you're a landlord. Just some advanced techniques, because what I found is that regular landlording is great for building up your wealth, but it's terrible for your cash flow. You can have 100 properties and still not have much cash flow, feel like you're broke. And I'll talk to you about that. So I run a corporate housing company in Sacramento. I have 27 units, and I don't need that many. Oftentimes I'm doing it with partnerships with people, but I'm responsible for all the marketing for these things. There's nothing wrong with partnerships. I partner all the time. All right. So I've been training people since 2014. That's why I can say unequivocally, I can answer your questions and I can get you there. Okay. But it wasn't always so easy for me. Let me stop my share because it's important for you to know. It came down to I was a civil engineer, had rental properties, and I still didn't have any money at the end of the month. And my wife asked me why we could go on vacation, and I had to tell her that it's because we had all these rentals, and I was using my engineering job as a civil engineer, professional engineer, to have to supplement my rental properties to maintain them. Okay, so all the cash flow that they're generating, I was putting back into the properties to take care of the roof, the paint job, the carpets, and things like that. Some big expenses would come. So that's what happened. I felt like it was too tight. It wasn't sufficient as long as I had a mortgage on that property. Most of the money went to the mortgage, and I had a little bit left over at the end of the month. That's true, just like I planned. But then a maintenance issue would come, and I would have to pay all that money back to maintain the property. So that's when I started my search, because I felt humiliated. I felt duped that people were promising this life of passive income, and my numbers were working, but in reality, life happens, and you got to maintain your properties unless you're a slumlord, and that's not what I was planning on being. So I started that quest, started studying, wrote a book, trying to get everything. Wrote this book called 40 Ways to Increase the Net Income of Your Rental Property, and I finished the book. I was trying to get 50, couldn't do it. I interviewed people for 5 years to come up with this, and it concluded was that once you start doing furnished rentals and with business travelers and move into the hospitality industry instead of the rental market, then you come up with a cash flow. Then you can live like you're planning on living. Then things work. Okay. Then you can take your family on vacation. Then you have more margin in your life. So I realized that change, not that rentals didn't work, but how I was operating it. You can't, if you're operating it long term, which is great, people need that type of housing. I decided I let other people provide that housing. I was going to serve business travelers. That's how I got margin in my life. I hope that makes sense to you guys. It's not that rentals didn't work, it's the way you operate rentals is everything. Okay. So this is what I came up with. And that's why I'm a big advocate of extended stay rentals, because it really works and it's improved the lives of so many people. Let me get back to here. So here's an update. We're coming out of the pandemic, and it got really bad for people who were doing short stays, doing weekend stays, because there was no travel happening. Things were just fine for people who were doing 30 days and longer, because essential workers didn't want to be in hotels. They wanted to be in long-term rentals, isolated from themselves. So people doing extended stays uh, know that this is a moneymaker through the pandemic, and it's moneymaker all through ups and downs in the economy. It's a steady thing because there's essential workers. You know, even when travel's restricted, we know that a project work and emergency services, healthcare services, government contracts, that still goes on. It's called essential work. It's done by essential workers, and they stay at these hotels. Oftentimes, you see them. Raise your hand if you see two. Raise your hand if you see three of these brands in your market. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. They're there. They're all over there. And these people, these extended stay hotels, they don't want you to catch on to the fact that they're really not much to them. You know, extended stay America made it fine through all 2020. They had a little dip in April, in the middle of the pandemic, when all travel stopped and we didn't know what was going on. But they quickly bounced back and made $96 million in 2020 profit. Okay, $96 million. They were just fine. Those people doing shorter stays, the Hiltons and the Marriotts and things like that, they're hurting. They really got hurt. The thing is, people are more mobile than ever, and mobility. I'm saying the obvious. Mobility is increasing. That's what's happening. But so what? So why is that? Why it matters? Is because this is a problem. This is why I'm trying to get a hold of you. Is that people don't know. People are still struggling for margin, but they can reach their financial goals. Just simply tap into the cash flow that these extended stay hotels are enjoying. They're enjoying a lot of it. In fact, they're no vacancies. Okay, and filled to the rim, and they're waiting for new extended stay hotels to be built until landlords catch on that they can absolutely reach their financial goals. Now, we're taught this when we're learning Monopoly, when we're little. The whole goal of Monopoly is to get more cash flow. And to get more cash flow, you get houses, yes, and then you trade them in for hotels. Why? Because hotels have the most cash flow. The hospitality industry has the most cash flow. It's been said since the 30s. That's the whole part of playing the game, is to groom you to look towards the hospitality industry. Okay. But inside the hospitality industry, this is the conversation. They're saying, hey guys, it's more profitable to house one person for 30 nights than to house 30 people per night. That's the little secret that they're talking about amongst themselves. So that's why they're building out more of these extended stay hotels, because that's where the higher profit margin is. There's not as much people who need extended stays, but it's definitely the highest profit margin, and it's enough for you to reach your financial goals. So that's what I want to share with you. So here's the solution. It's some specialized training for investors. That's what we're going to do right now, who are seeking the largest cash flow, not just a little bit with a lot of burnout. We're talking about margin with time, so you have time to breathe, and you're not, hypertension in your life, and extra money, so that you have that cushion for you. And we want to do it as passively as possible. So I think it's better to have one turnover every 3 months than to have 6 turnovers per month. And my family thinks so too. They don't want to see me gone all the time. Okay, so here's 3 secrets to get there. The first one is how to instantly know that you can make enough cash flow to accomplish your financial goals. That's my whole purpose of being here. By the time we're done, you're going to know that, how to instantly know without a shadow of a doubt, to be positive, so that you can take action and not keep thinking about it. You can take action and actually make a difference, make that decision. And the second thing is that you don't need to own a rental to do this. You don't need a bank loan to do this. You can do it quickly. And the third one is, you don't need a lot of money to do this. You need some financial management skills, but you don't need a lot of money to do this. All right. Look in the first one. I'm going to pick up the pace here. So how do you instantly know that, without a shadow of a doubt, that you can take action and accomplish your financial goals immediately without any question? Is this, that the hotels have done all the research for you. They know what they're doing, and you can never catch up to them. Tony Robbins says you should model someone who's already successful, because success leaves clues. And we see bigger corporations doing this all the time. McDonald's, when they do all the market research, they go into a neighborhood, they build up a McDonald's quickly because they know what they're doing. And Burger King just sits back and watches. And they say, yep, McDonald's did it right again. Look at all that traffic. Look at their parking lot is slammed full. There's people in the drive-through line outside the street and causing a traffic jam. Why don't we just set up across the street? So they simply copy because the homework has already been done. And the homework's been done and confirmed. Okay. So when you see an extended stay America in your neighborhood, Rose, you got 2 of them. Some of them you got in Cincinnati, you may have 3 of them. Okay. And I know down in Florida, you got them all up and down, and plus other brands. Okay. Then you know without a shadow of a doubt that you can beat them. You know without a shadow, the homework's been done, the research has been done, it's proven you can drive the parking lot. Now you can just take action and accomplish your financial goals. That's what I'm saying. There's absolutely there's no risk there. You know, I love the story of David and Goliath because Goliath was this big soldier trained from birth, huge Shaquille O'Neal sized guy, and David was a little shepherd boy that didn't like the way Goliath was talking. So they have this epic battle, and one reason that David was victorious is because he used a slingshot and he fought from afar, off distance. He didn't fight Goliath on Goliath's own terms with the sword. He is off in the distance, and that's why I want to share with you. You can be successful if you use your advantage. You don't have to fight on your own terms. So what I'm saying is these extended stay hotels, which are there, you look inside, you can even look on their websites to look at the pictures. You can see that they are pretty generic. They have to appeal to everybody, and you can beat them. You can make something more cozy than this. You can have a real stove. You can have a real living experience. This is just a watered down hotel. I mean, it's a watered down apartment building. It's really not much to it. Okay. Because you can be in a residential setting, people want to be there. You can put a washer and dryer in that spot. People want that. If they're going to stay for 2-3 months, they want their own washer and dryer. And you can do all this for a less price than these hotels charge, right? These hotels, they've done the research. They're telling you how much they're charging per night. They've done all the research for you. You can just run the numbers and see that you can be very much more profitable. Okay, so that's the insight number 1. I hope I got through to you, is that everything has been done for you if you receive it. They published it. They published their best, most attractive prices. When people go to get that price, they say, oh, we don't have any left. So it's up from there, right? But you can see if you even use their prices, their best prices, you can make a fortune. And I'm going to show you more about how to do that. But these are hotels, they're there because they know what people want. They know the market can support it. They know how people will charge. And they're recession proof all through the pandemic. That's a once in 100 years episode, and even ups and downs in the economy because they serve essential workers. And you can too. Raise your hand if I'm getting through to you. That all you need to do is copy what they're doing and move forward. You don't have to be questioned about what's going on. Lady Ann, I'm going to catch you in just a little bit. Let me keep going here. Because these nurses and doctors and people giving anesthetics and things like that are traveling. Plumbers and iron workers, engineers, IT professionals are traveling. Digital nomads has become a thing. Being able to work from anywhere is becoming a thing. So there's just so much business. People want to be at your place. They're just waiting for you to provide housing for them. Okay. Here's one thing I did. I had some of my apartment buildings, that building I showed you, they didn't have a washer and dryers inside. So I just strapped this. I happen to own this. I was going to upgrade this. So I just strapped the plumbing to the outside of the wall, and I add this little air admittance valve instead of punching a hole through the roof, the vent. You got to let air come in so there's no vacuum. And then there's these new washer and dryers that run off a regular outlet. I just put them there. See what I did? I just added a washer and dryer over into the corner. A little bit of technology. It's less than $900 of stuff. The thing was renting in Sacramento, California. A regular rental was about 111. I mean, yeah, 110. $1,100. That's a month. That's what they cost for a regular unfurnished apartment. But as a corporate rental, that means if it's a corporate rental, it has its own washer and dryer. That's important because people, they want it to be self-contained. They don't have to talk to anybody. They want everything there. I'm charging $2,197. So that's $1,000 increase of per month. That means this thing pays for itself and all my furnishing every single month. Every single month. That's 100% increase in cash flow. I didn't go buy another rental. I just did some strategic things on how I operate. So that's the key I want to get through to you. I'm trying to illustrate that you change the use of a rental property, and that unleashes the cash flow. And doing that, you don't have to go to a bank. Doing that, you can accomplish your financial goals. Just raise your hand if you receive that, if that's really clear. Change the use. Good, good. Thank you. Good. All right. So this is the thing I want to walk away with. You don't. This is the second secret, actually. The second secret is you don't have to own it. You just got to change the use of it. Okay. You don't have to own a rental. You need to get a bank loan. All right. You got to control it. Let's talk about it. You can use the scripts I was telling Derek about. Use our arbitrage scripts. So it's all worked out for you. Talk to the owner of a property, and it's going to strategic location. Then you tell them, disclose to them you want to run your corporate housing company from their unit and share with them all the benefits. And it's a strong case. It's going to be better, easier tenants. They're all professionals. It's going to be keep the place looking great, and you're going to take care of the maintenance, or you're going to maintain the property, make sure it's always in tip-top condition. And then you put the right furnishings in, not what you want, but what the traveler wants. That's a big, I'm saying that's a huge difference. You got to put what they want in it. All right. You decorate it the way your client wants, not the way you think is a good idea. And I have some guidance for you on that. Then you market this place, real marketing. Like I shared with you before, I'm not talking about just Airbnb. You market online, you have an offline marketing program, and you use social media. A lot of people say, I can't use social media. So I came up with a solution for that as well. Okay. So I want to have everything for you. And when you market that way, people are going to say, hey, I can stay at that hotel, or I can stay with you and you charge less and give me more privacy, more convenience, a real place to cook, a real neighborhood experience. I'm definitely going to stay with you. And they give you their housing allowance. Okay, these are business travelers. Their employers are paying. They're going to give it to you. All right. And then you take their money, you pay the bills, the landlady, the utilities, the Wi-Fi, whatever else. And ideally, if you did it right, half the money goes to the bills, half the money goes to you. Now you got it. Now you got the cash flow. Now you got the margin. Now you can accomplish your financial goals. Now, whether it is just coming up enough so that you can have a feed your retirement account. I have some of these. My daughter's retirement accounts on them. So all the money goes to and they're 10 and 16. So I'm working on their retirements. Of course, retire myself because I can do this all the time. And so can you. That's just what I'm sharing with you. You can replace your job if you want. You can fund your vacations you want. You can give more if you want. The money's there, all by serving people who are on extended stay travel. You can do it. So here it is, one page. Let me go a little faster. Get the right place. Tell the landlord, tell the owner what you're going to do. Use my scripts. They work. Furnish it correctly. Don't overspend. Right? Then you market it online, offline, social media. Okay? And then you will attract someone who will want to give you money because your place is a deal. It's more comfortable, and they love it. It's a no contest comparison between that and a hotel for 30 days. I go crazy after 10 days. Then you take their money or their employer's money, and you pay your bills with it, pay the landlady, pay the utilities, and the rest is for you. The rest is for you. The rest is for you to use however you want. I just took some of this, and my daughter's going to college, her first year. Except in a few months, I gotta say goodbye to my little girl. She's on her own. I had to buy her a car. Well, where did the car money come from? Came from this. You know, how am I going to pay for college? It comes from this. How do I live in abundance? It comes from this. How do I pay for the healthcare? I was so worried about leaving my engineering job because I didn't know how I was going to pay for healthcare. I was held captive. I couldn't leave. That was the handcuffs. A good income and healthcare, and they pay a little bit toward my retirement. They kept me as their asset. I started doing this. I can free up. I can pay for healthcare. You guys getting this? This is what I'm going to share with you because it's an abundance. If you do this, it changes your life. There's so many examples of it. Like Rochelle did it. She had a promise that she made to her friend who was dying of breast cancer. She promised she would sponsor the two girls that her friend was going to leave behind so that they can keep on with their gymnastic and ballet lessons. So Rochelle was like, oh man, I made that promise, but I don't know how I'm going to pay for it. So she reached out to me. She said, Al, you coach my friends, they're successful. Um, I haven't always made it in the past. I've done some things. I started them and didn't finish them. And I said, well, use the 6 steps, use our 6-step system. It's been fine-tuned since 2014. It works. I promise you it works. If you have any problems, we'll help you with the problems. All you have to do is reach out. And she was worried about it, but she wanted to serve business travelers. She wanted to do extended stays, but she wasn't about herself. She was like, I don't know if I'm really going to make it. I have memories of not making it. So I said, have you seen the show Biggest Loser? She's like, yeah. That's when they have that big weight loss. She said, yep, yep. Well, why can't they do it on TV, but they can't do it on their own? Why did they have to come to the show to have that big transformation? And the answer is because they have an accountability group and they have a coach. If you tried for a big, big, massive transformation and you didn't make it, you probably are missing one of those or both. You're probably trying to do it on your own. Okay. So I told her, hey, I'm going to coach you and we got an accountability group for you. You just got to stay plugged in, and that's how you do it. And this is no surprise. You guys give this advice to your kids when they need help in school. You say, get a tutor and get a study group, right? Alcoholic Anonymous, hey, get a sponsor to coach you and keep coming to the meetings. Same thing. It works every time. You need a coach and you need who knows what they're doing, has a history of success, and accountability group. So that's what you need. So she started using the 6 steps, and she started using the worksheets. She found a little house in Reno, Nevada, in a strategic location. That's important. Where the rents are low, but the value is high. She's on the fringe. And she started furnishing it simply. She didn't go and buy all this lush furniture, sink herself into 3 years of debt. She was strategic about furnishings. That's important. Just basic stuff. It's just nice and clean. Keep it simple. That's what travelers want. Okay. Then she started using our marketing scripts to find someone. Remember, I said online, offline, social media. It's really a three-legged stool. You've been seeing this graphic, but it looks like this really. Marketing is social media with online tools, which, of course, Airbnb is one of the online tools, and offline approach as well, talking to people. That's where the majority is offline. A lot of people just like to hide behind their computer and just use Airbnb. They just want to be a proud Airbnb host, which is great. But hard times come and they didn't make it. They didn't know how to market for themselves. So that's why I encourage folks, learn how to do it. You need the social media because people want to research you. They want to see that you've been around for a while before they give you their money. So that's the difference. Okay. There's this great saying that says, give someone a fish and you can feed them for a day. And that's what Airbnb does a masterful job. They make it easy. They give you a fish. They give you a client. They let you know that this person is looking for housing. They make it easy for you. And the next part is if you teach someone to fish, You can feed them for a lifetime. And that's what I'm interested in doing. I mean, help you learn how to feed yourself so that when hard times come, not if, and I was telling people this before, when Airbnb goes public, they charge more fees. It's ridiculous, the fees. And people are looking for alternatives. You got to know how to market for yourself. And that's the key. Once you know how to market for yourself, then all of this is unlocked. And that's why I'm here to help you do that. So she started using some of our offline techniques. She found a construction supervisor. He's in town for 10 months. And then there she was, well, how much should I charge him? And she wanted to charge him just $1,600 because her rent was about $850. Just you want to pay him 2 times. I was like, no, you got to charge him much more than that. Keep your eyes on the hotels. And she thought she was gouging them and she didn't want to feel greedy. I told her, you need to be coachable. This is when you need a coach to tell you what it is that you should price yourself at. Because I was a business traveler for 20 years as an engineer. When there's a new bridge, I had to go and oversee it. So I'm always in extended stay hotels. I know the game of a business traveler. So she priced it where I said 2,100, and that's how she started making $900 a month. That's how she can actually accomplish her goal of paying for gymnastic lessons and paying for ballet lessons and keep her promise. So that made her feel really good. She didn't have to pick up a job. She didn't want a job. She likes to flip houses. So that one stroke is not a millionaire, but it's the cash flow, consistent cash flow that makes all the difference. Like Rose, we can have a consistent cash flow to cover your bills with that 5,000. We can create that in a couple of years. And then what will you, and then how will that feel when you don't have that weight of knowing that you have to come up with money each month because it's coming to you because of what you did. You created that cash flow stream. So her client pays her 2,100. Let's look at the numbers. He thinks this is a deal. He has about $3,000 worth of housing budget allowance, and he's pocketing. He gets to keep 900 of it because it's all tax free. He gets to keep 900 of it, and he pays her the rest. So he's very happy. He's not paying it all to a hotel. And she pays the landlord $850, and the landlord's happy. He knows what she's doing. He's happy how nice the place is kept. She takes a good care of the place. So everyone's happy, and she pays utilities and a little bit of renter's insurance she wanted. And Wi-Fi, of course. That leaves her $900 of net after expenses. Now she's got $900. She can do whatever she wants with it. She can put it in her pocket. She can pay towards her friends' kids. She can add it to her retirement account. She can add it to her vacation account. She can nearly finance 2 cars with that. All this within a month by just taking action, making that decision to take action. That's what the important thing is. But look at this. This is killer. I do think you should definitely own rentals, and if you own rentals, you should also arbitrage. You should do both, because this is the reason why. Look at this. She's making about $50 more per month than the landlord is. So let's take a look at the landlord. If the landlord would just do furnished rentals, if they would just do what she's doing, furnish them, serve people that are looking for month-to-month stays, assuming he makes $850 for rent, about probably he's got to pay taxes and insurance. If he has a mortgage, he probably pays that too. But let's say that he has a profit of about $400 left over. Okay, if he was doing what Rochelle's doing, providing that furnishing the place, that would be an extra $900 he would take. And then look at this. He would be making, instead of $400 of profit, he'd be making $1,300. So what does that mean? That's about 3 times the profit by just changing the use of what he has. Let's look at this. So as a regular landlord, at the end of the year, if he's lucky, he can make $4,800. As an extended stay landlord, furnishing a place, doing month-to-month rentals, he makes $15,000. $15,000 is much better than $4,000. Okay, he nearly triples it without going and buying more properties, no more property taxes. He's out of that loop. No, he doesn't have to pay a realtor for commissions or anything. Just changes the use and up and going. Okay, so that's the second insight, is that you could make money off of other people's properties if you choose to, because changing the use, it makes it so much more profitable. All right. All you have to do is control the property. You don't have to own it. You don't have to go get a bank loan. You can control it with a rental agreement, a lease option. There's many different ways of controlling it, but you need to know how to market the place. That's the key. You can market it with Airbnb, yes, but there's so many more ways, and you want those other ways built out so that you can always stay filled, even in a pandemic. All right. Here's another example I want to show you from me personally. I have a 2-bed, 1-bath, and doing extended stays is completely different than doing 1-2 night stays on Airbnb. Because when you're doing 1-2 night stays and that whole Airbnb thing, the more people you have, you can charge for extra people and make more money that way. For me, as an extended stays, the fewer people you have, because you're going for months, it's gonna be a fixed amount per month. The fewer people, the better, the less wear and tear. So I start furnishing my place, so I'm attracting like one person, 2 people at a time. That's why I do a lazy boy instead of a sofa. I'm not trying to cram people in. I created this wonderful one-person home theater for them. They swing this television around and they have a drink and they're the lazy boy. They're just loving it. So it's very popular. I set it up for 2 coworkers. That's who I'm going for. That's the people I'm looking for. So I'm looking for low occupancy. So traditionally, a 2-bed, 1-bath in Sacramento is about $1,190 per month. That's what the cost, unfurnished. Okay. That's why I could rent it for easily. But I furnished it and I created a service apartment out of it. And it's $1,000 difference just by changing the use. You know, so I put money in for furnishings, but it quickly pays itself back. That's why you need to watch how much you spend on furnishings. It quickly pays itself back, and it's like getting a whole new apartment unit. Okay. It's extra $1,000 that I use that gives me margin. So that's an 80% increase just by furnishing it and doing extended stays. So I changed the use of it, going low occupancy. And that's just an example of how this model is different than Airbnb. Airbnb works, absolutely. This one works, and I think it's better because it gives you more time and nearly the same cash flow. Okay. All right. So here's kind of a summary, real quick summary, is that these extended stays have done all the work for you. They've done the research for you. There is no risk for you to take. If you drive the parking lot's filled up, there's no risk for you to take. You just do this. And the second thing is that you don't have to own the place. Yes, you do want to eventually own rentals. I definitely own rentals. I think it's great. I take the extra cash flow that I make off of other people's rentals and I go buy property with it. So that's what we do. But so that's a great way of getting started. And then the third secret is that you don't have to have a lot of money. You need money management skills. That's what you need. But you don't need a lot of money to do this. All right. Like Rochelle, she just started with $4,100. That's why I say you should kind of plan on having $5,000 to work with. Doesn't have to be your $5,000, but you need to have $5,000. And then the monthly profit is about $900 for her in her case. And it means she pays herself back. This is what's important as a real business. You think about how fast you can pay yourself back in 4.5 months. Okay. And that's great because now she's got something designed. She can stack things together. She can repeat this and create the financial cash flow. Let's look at this real quick. If you just do one of them, let's just say instead of $900, your monthly profit after expenses is $500. This is what we're doing for you, Rose. That, and at the end of the year, it's about $6,000 of cash flow, which is great. That's more than most investors who get a whole house. $500 a month. Typical is like $100 a month. But then with rental arbitrage, you can quickly do another one because people get bored. This is what really happens. About 3 months, they start talking to me about, hey, I want another one. Derek, this is what's going to happen to you. I want another one. Okay, go ahead. and then you're making $1,000 of extra money per month that you can use for improve your lifestyle, pay off bills, uh, take your family out for whatever you want. Family time, I think it's really important to put it into family time. I think it's like the highest, best use of this. But that's just me. And then, but what happens, this is what I see all the time, is people start this and they end up with 4 of them within a year or so, real fast, not even trying, not even working too hard. It just ends up at 4, and that's a $2,000 per month cash flow stream. $24,000, that means you could have paid for a car in a year cash just by off money you make off of someone else's property. And this is realistic. This is real. Look at Alicia. I met her in Virginia, Richmond. She said she wanted to focus on stopping working and having something to cover her bills so that she could focus on being a mom. So I said, all right, you flip houses? She says, yes. I said, you have a crew of people already? She says, yes. I said, you got 15 days to get this done. And she's like, oh, geez. But she took on the challenge, and that's why she sent me this note saying, Al, thank you so much for pushing me out of my comfort zone. And she went on to say, thank you for answering my questions. I was there when she needed me. I love that. And then she said she went and got 4 of them. Within 4 months, she got 4 of these up and going. And there it is. She started making a profit of $2,131. She said, I got to tell people about this. Make sure they know it's real. You can do it pretty quickly. And that extra cushion really makes a big difference in your life. You're not a billionaire, nope, but the extra $2,000 gives you some breathing room on your bills. It gives you that margin that keeps you from overdrafting. It gives you that margin so you can live the way you want to. You don't have to overspend, okay? You don't have to be broke. You can just do this. All right. Here, let me move this for it. Okay. So here's a little baby right there. All right, I'm gonna take a break in a second, but you can make a lot more money than just this. I want to show you this model here. This is what I actually documented that I did. I was cutting videos showing, we started off with $5,000. This is what we did for Easy Corporate Housing. And let me drag this over here. And then we kept working our regular businesses. I was already retired, and my business partner was working his job as a lawyer. So we didn't spend the money. We just kept reinvesting it into the company, having the profits go to the bank account. So this right here is all profits. That's what this axis means. And this axis down along the side is just month per month, okay? So we start off doing rental arbitrage. We made $500 of profit. We saved it. Next month, again, another 500 and another 500, saving it. Remember, we start off with $5,000. Month 4, we had enough so that we could go do a second rental arbitrage. Okay, we took the money that our rentals made for us and we reinvested it. And that's how we did it. Again, in month 10, we get another one. We take all the profits, we didn't spend them, kept living off of our other income and reinvesting, got a third one. And you can see it's going faster and faster. Again, month 14, and so on and so forth. So what this says is that you're accelerating faster and faster so that in 23 months, you can start paying yourself a salary of $10,000 a month. I know Rose was interested in that. I told her you could definitely do this in 5, if you can get 5,000 in 2 years.
2 years, yep.
I have no question about that. You should be able to get 10,000, okay? That's what it is. If you can live on $120,000 a year, then you don't have to work 30 years to retire. You don't have to struggle to put your kid through college. You don't have to struggle and worry about healthcare costs. You just do this. It works. All right. This is Ethan. He was stuck just like I was in corporate America. He was HR manager. He's always in commute in the Bay Area, an hour commute and BART, hour back. He barely could see his kids. He's got 2 daughters just like me. And they were growing up without him. He was trying to provide for them, but he was always in commute and it just felt stuck. And he kept coming and listening to my webinars, listening to me speak. And I told him, I confronted him. I said, Ethan, information by itself is never going to be enough. You got to have some conviction. You got to take some boldness with it. You got to, it really is a walk by faith. You got to step out, just like these majestic elephants, not that Ethan was, but they remember that they couldn't pull the stick out of the ground when they were a kid, when they were a calf. They couldn't do it. And then they look around and they see other elephants being held back by this rope and a stake. And they think, oh, everyone else is stuck. I must be stuck. You know, I remember as an engineer, I was like, well, everyone's counting down to retirement. If they got 5, 10 more years to go, I might as well stay here and count down to retirement. And I was just living my life for retirement, the countdown, and missing my kids growing up. It became too much. So same with him. It's like it's this cost to me waiting and watching and not being there when my missing baseball games, missing basketball games, missing things because I'm always in commute and tethered to this job that I went to school for, the job. So it's a confusion time. So I said, Ethan, you are overqualified. Let's do this. And he said, okay. So he started doing the 6 steps. He signed up. He started going through the worksheets. He started seeing on the outsides of San Francisco, just outside, he could get these houses that had a kitchen and 2 bedrooms upstairs and a bedroom downstairs. And he started renting the upstairs to one business traveler, downstairs to another business traveler. He didn't own these places. He just rented them and with the owner's permission. And it started gushing money for him. It started working for him. I said, Ethan, well, what helped you get over it? He said, Jim Rohn, he's an amazing business leader and thinker. He has this law of diminishing intent. It says, the longer you wait to do something you should do now, the greater the odds are that you'll never actually do it, which to me, him meant he would never actually be there for his kids. They would, it's sweet 16, it's graduating from high school, it's graduating from college, walking them down the aisle, and just a blur. You just missed it all. You missed all the stuff in between because you put this off. You have the opportunity. It's all around you. There's all the proof and all the evidence has been done for you. Just take action. Now you need to make a decision to take action. No, if an eagle doesn't see another eagle fly, the chances of them reaching their full potential is greatly diminished. You got to be around other eagles. You can't put yourself around people who are just counting down to retirement. And that's not something you have to accept. Here's recent for Ethan. He says, I just lost my 29th and 30th units. He's telling our private Facebook group, hey, I love some feedback. He's really good at doing listing now. He's showing everyone so he's completely out now. He makes about $180,000 a year, just doing this reinvestment model, $15,000 a month. It was just comfortable in San Francisco. And he's got time with his kids. He all through the pandemic, he was traveling around with them. Airbnb, this is a family just traveling around. He's home with them, taking them boba teas, daddy-daughter dates. It's such a richer life because he made a decision to walk out and do something. It's possible. The homework has been done for you. Jay does it. Ethan even knew Jay. You go to Jay's events. Jay does a real estate event. Jay's my first student. He just travels the world based on his rental arbitrage income. He has a team in the Philippines that runs everything. He has handyman locally in San Jose area. About $600,000 a year of his size of his business. So I'm saying is you don't have to have a lot of money to start. You don't need a lot of money to do this. You just need a proven system, something that you can bank on and that other people can bank on. And that gives you predictable results, even in a recession, even in a pandemic. It still makes money for you. That's what you need, is a system like that. Okay. And that's what I got for you. That's what I got. You can do this, all these 3 things together. The extended stay hotels have done all the research for you. I hope you receive that. It is proof. Just drive the parking lot. It's proof. You don't have to own a rental. You just need to control it. And you don't need a lot of money to do this. Here, let me take a quick question. I know you guys have been waiting for me I just want to get through that. Let me stop sharing my screen. And let me, got some hands up. Alexandria, I'm gonna allow you to talk and I'll get Lady Ann. Go ahead. I think I missed your question, Alexandria.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't sure. I'm not as good at this as you are, Al. First of all, I want to tell you, I love what you're doing. I think it's extremely valuable. It's wonderful. It's extremely innovative. I've been an investor for a very long time here in New York. And everything you mentioned, oh my gosh, you were speaking my life in terms of making all this money and then having to put the money right back in the properties. I mean, there were years where I needed repairs on my own home that I had to put off because I had to take care of my rental properties first,
Yeah.
you know? So yeah, thankfully though, it worked for me well enough that I was able to stay home and build another business. But I'm definitely at the stage in my life, I'm over 50, my children are all grown and thankfully doing well, that I want to, you know, I love the idea of providing a wonderful place for people to live, but I don't want the headache of, excuse me, being a residential landlord. Now my questions, I have a couple really quickly. I wanted to ask you, have you encountered issues with landlords? Let's say you were to rent a unit from a landlord who was completely on board, thought it was a great arrangement, but at some point down the road, he was restricted from having, you know, having short-term tenants, or even restricted maybe from subleasing to someone who didn't actually live on the premises, because I've run into that here. And if so, I guess my other question compounded with that is, do you think long-term leases are a good idea, or what would be the longest lease you would suggest, just on the off chance that something like that might happen down the road?
Oh, great question. What we do is when you're negotiating a lease, you can attach an addendum that has the conditions for an early exit.
Oh,
yeah,
that's great. Okay, awesome.
So if those unknown things happen, if the laws change, you leave with all your cash flow unharmed.
That's awesome. So, okay, great. My other question was actually, I'm kind of looking out for Lady Ann. She lives in Florida. She invited me, thankfully. And she's running into an issue because I think, you know, she's into Airbnb. I hope I don't put too much out there, but at any rate, now there are laws in Florida that only allow property owners to do not just Airbnb, but short-term rentals, or what we even call transient rentals. And I wonder, have you run into issues with landlords, or how would you deal with a landlord who maybe isn't as savvy about what you're bringing to the table, but they like the idea, of course, of having guaranteed income, guaranteed rent every month without having to be concerned? What would you suggest telling a landlord, you know, who's going to now be responsible for the short-term rental?
Well, in that case, you approach yourself as a short-term rental management company, and you do the marketing for them, and you take the 20%, 30% marketing fee, or monthly rent.
I see.
Yeah, it's
That's
all about
awesome.
knowing how to market. Takes the sting out of everything. If someone closes you down, okay, I just move to somewhere else and open up because I know how to market. If it has to be an owner, well, let me run this place for you, and you be the owner, and I do this on your behalf and take a management fee. That's fantastic. Plenty of cash flow. There's plenty of cash flow.
So my last question is this, because you hit on it a couple of times. You know what we've done here when we rent to corporations, businesses, we do a triple net lease, which would mean, of course, they cover insurance, part of, you know, sometimes taxes, and then repairs up to a certain amount. So when you spoke about maintaining the property for the owner, you know, as a part of their incentive for even going forward with you, how much of the maintenance and repairs do you take responsibility for? Is it up to a certain dollar amount? How does that work for you?
We negotiate it in as we're just a regular tenant. We're not
Ah,
responsible for any of that.
okay.
Just like a regular tenant that's a super tenant, because we check if there's a leak under the sink, we're gonna let you know right away. And
Yeah.
we may take care of it, but it's still your responsibility, just like a regular tenant. So we're
Okay. Awesome.
insulated, as you know, if you can insulate yourself from the maintenance cost,
Yes.
then you don't need such a large reserve. All that money is available for you now to live your life. You don't have to stock it aside a reserve fund like that.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for answering my questions. Thank you for having this webinar. It's really been informative for me. Thanks.
Good, good. Here, let me run back and close out here because I'm going over. I've been talking so much, but so here's the thing: you can do all this on your own, absolutely, because you guys have extended stay hotels, and it's going to work. You could try to do what's taking me years to figure out, or you can just skip the trial and error and just copy copy what works. Just start using my 6-step system. It's worked for since 2014. It's retired a lot of people. Their new problems are, hey, I got too, I need an assistant. And my problem is my my coaching and training program is so that because you need a coach, and I believe you need an accountability group. It's called Extended Stays for Landlords. And here's what you get. Here's all involved. Is that you get an overview, which I kind of gave for you guys, so you can focus on the hospitality industry and not focus on Airbnb, because that's just one thing. And then step 2 is once you realize that you realize the hotels are where you should be focusing on, you start to understand your market's potential. So that's going to open up to you. It's more than you think. And the goal is that we're going to be focusing on um, one of the categories, because there's either tourists or there's travelers staying at these places. These tourists are the ones who are high maintenance and they cause the problem. So we're just going to focus on the business travelers who have employers or are serious travelers for more than a month. So that's understanding that, understand how to furnish the place. That's the step 3, is furnishing it so that people want it and that you can break even quickly. Okay, that's important. I have a checklist. You can use it as a shopping guide, or you can buy everything off of Amazon, whichever you want. It's easy for you. And then understanding how to market is key. That's the 4th thing. Once you know how to do that, everything opens up for you. Learn the three-step, 3-leg process: online, offline, and social media. That's key. Then you can weather a storm. All right. Now you can it unlocks your potential to move your business around, or make other people uh, improve the cash flow of other people's properties, improve the cash flow of your own property, knowing this set of skills that'll help you with. And then if you are already an Airbnb host, understand how to transition from these nightly stays to monthly stays. That's important. How to serve the traveling healthcare professionals, like the travel nurses, understand what they want and how to find them quickly so that you don't have a bunch of vacancies. How to price yourself, that's important. And once you know all those steps, once you have a great understanding of those things, then you can do rental arbitrage. You can start making cash flow without ownership. You take that marketing engine, you put it on a rental that you rent from someone else, you furnish it properly, you can start making money. So I gave you all the scripts and the worksheets, and so a very systematic approach so that you can replicate it. You see that I'm making about between 500 to 1,600 per month over and over again, and several of them. So I have a diverse portfolio, and that gives me the margin in life. Okay, so you can quickly duplicate it to create the cash flow you want to accomplish your financial goals. So that's all the 6 steps. So the value of that, put that together, is $3,500 easily, because we're putting out. You can quickly come to $2,000 a month of cash flow pretty quickly, like what Alicia did in 2 months. But like I was telling Ethan, information by itself, I can give you all these modules, but information by itself is not enough. You need a coach. You need to be around other eagles that kind of help you understand how to do this and what other people are doing. So you can, that's why the private Facebook group, that's how you can learn from other people who are operating like we are for years. And you can get now you have a support group, keep you accountable. You can get daily updates from me about what I'm learning. I'm still learning and what I'm trying and testing and what's going on with the industry. And the real world value of this mastermind group is $1,997. Now, interesting with the masterminds, I belong to a mastermind. I'm coached. I pay $1,000 a month to be coached. I pay $1,000 a month to be around people and accountable to people who make more money than me. Because at first I thought it was a lot of money, but once I realized that my job was to work with those folks to make even more money than I'm paying, then I'm like, oh, this is the way to do it. It's easily worth $1,000 a month if you're making more than $1,000 a month by the relationships. This mastermind group is just a one-time fee, not a monthly fee, a one-time value of $1,997. It's absolutely worth it. Email support is the second bonus because you need to have interaction with me. You have a question about negotiating, you have a question, I need to be able to answer it. That's why unlimited email support for the first year is there. It's a value of $1,997. And so I want you to imagine that you and I sitting together, looking at your area together and what you can do. Imagine, yep, you have all, you can have all the answers to do this now. Now you can start creating cash flow. That's what it is. Because the third bonus is a private session with me, 1 hour, plus all the resources I created for other individuals, like that Lisa Denham I was talking to Alexia about, Alexandria about. All those things came out of one-on-one conversations and things happening. Okay, so a 60-minute consult and personalized action plan just for you, crafted out, and the resources pack about how to set up the legal stuff, the addendums, all those things. The legal stuff is worth a lot just alone, So this one-time conversation will definitely increase your cash flow by more than $500 per month if you take action. That's the whole thing. You just got to move forward, and I'm there to help you move forward. So the whole value of this is less than the legal costs to come up with these documents of $2,500. So if you stack it all together, the system is $3,500 value easily. The mastermind group is $1,997. That's a one-time cost. Remember, I pay $1,000 a month for have people invest into me and I pour into you guys. And email support for $1,997. That's answering all your questions on the spot so that you don't have to go to bigger pockets to get someone's advice. And I like to say you can get great advice to the wrong question. You gotta know that you're in the extended stay market and it's completely different than those people that are doing Airbnb. Okay. And then private coaching, that's a $2,500 value. So altogether, it's a $9,994 value. And again, we're trying to accomplish this. We're trying to create $10,000 per month. Okay. So the question is how quickly can you make 10 times your money over? Yes, this value is nearly $10,000, but how quickly can you make that money over 10 times? Okay, so let's find out about that. So his value is absolutely $9,994, no question about it. And Warren Buffett says the best investment you can make is an investment in yourself, because the more you learn, especially financial literacy, the more you'll earn. But I know a lot of people are stuck, and just like with Ethan, with myself. So I want to make it as easy as possible. So that's why I bring it down to about 1/10 of what it is. So $1,997. Just like you should be making that quickly within a couple of months if you roll this out. Definitely within a year. Should be your monthly income if you don't even try very hard. So you should be able to make this back every month with pretty quickly. And then I give you a money back guarantee that if you follow my system, if you follow the 5-week easy schedule to get going so you know what to do, if you follow that, within this year, you should definitely make 3 times your money back that you invested. It would definitely make 3 times. And if you don't, I will give you all your money back, and then I'll pay you 10% on your money. That's how confident I am. There's no way to lose. There's no way to lose. I'll give you all your money back, and I'll pay you 10% on your money if it doesn't work for you. If you don't make 3 times the return, if you don't make a 300% return. Because here it is that housing people who are on extended stay work assignments is the absolute key to creating this passive income that you need to reach your financial goals, to create that margin without burning yourself out. That's important. You want time with your family, time to grow. And that's attainable through the 6-step system that's been already worked out. I've already skinned my nose. I've already made the mistakes. I'm already scarred up. We've got this system that works. You don't have to go through that. And the system has coaching and a support group. Those are the things you need to make a big transformation, okay? So it's $19.97. You go to extendedstaylandlord.com to get it. I'm out of time for questions, but so again, what you get a map to show you how to make this journey. That's what the 6 steps are, so that you can actually accomplish this. You get a support group for your journey and make sure that you make it. You need people to cheer you along, and then you need the equipment, all the resources, 11 modules to make sure you have the ability, you have the tools you need to make it too. Go to extendedstaylandlord.com to get it. And here it is. This is the big promise. I'll give you $250 off for the next 2 hours, okay? If you sign up before 10 p.m. Eastern, here's the code 061021. If you do that, this is what you do. You get it down to $1,747. Okay, this expires tonight. This is already programmed. It expires tonight. So what you do is you go to extendedstaylandlord.com. You'll see this. You click on the roll button, and then you see this button that says add coupon code. You click in, that's where you add that code 061021. Extendedstaylandlord.com. I'm sorry it gone so long, but at this point you can do 3 things really. You could do absolutely nothing in the middle of all this opportunity. And then you kind of know what your life will look like in a year from now if you do absolutely nothing. Now, if that is acceptable to you, you should applaud. If that's unbearable to you, then I hope you do the second option, which is do something. You could try this on your own. You can read all of my blogs. You can listen to podcasts all day long. You can read everything on Bigger Pockets, everything on my blog. You can look for all my YouTube accounts. You can read every book in the library, and you probably eventually be okay. You'll try things, you'll make your mistakes, which probably will be expensive, but you'll be okay. And the third thing you could do is just let me help you do this. Let me help you get up to a fast start. So I want to leave you with that. I hope either way, I hope you stay with me and keep checking out my material. I'm looking forward to working with all of you. Go to extendedstaylandlord.com. Looking forward to working with you. If you have some questions, I know I'm going long, just email them to me and I'll get right back to you. All right. Hey, thanks everyone. I'm going to sign off.
Thank you, Al.
And take care. I hope